Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Alex. I am a real estate investor, and today I want to show you how I recently did an eviction 100% remotely. I want to show you the entire process from the original 3-day notice to actually gaining possession of the unit. There's a lot of resources out there, but I feel like there's none that are like super detailed, super in depth, that really walk you through the process or so. So that's what I want to do for you guys today. So here we go. So here we go. Proof, promise, and plan. The proof is, I just completed an eviction from a tenant that I inherited, and I did it without an attorney. I did it 100% virtually, 100% remote. The property is in Iowa. I live in Florida. Uh, I'm totally not an attorney. Disclaimer. I'm just a goofball. I have no idea what I'm doing, but here are the steps that I did do, and it worked. So do with that information what you will. The promise. I will share with you the steps that I did. I'll show you where I got the documents, that sort of stuff to get this eviction completed. And the plan. So it's really kind of like a 3-step plan if you had to boil it down. So 1 is the proper notices, 2 is like the court process, and 3 is the actual sheriff eviction. So starting with the first step here. So this is the proper notices. So basically in Iowa, you can serve this 3-day notice essentially on the second day of the month. So if the rent is due on the first day of the month, you're allowed to serve the 3-day notice on the second day. I don't. In my process, I usually issue the 3-day notice on the 6th day. There are late fees on days up until the 5th day. And then on the 6th day, I issued the 3-day notice. So there's nothing special about the 3-day notice here. It's just a typical, this is what it looks like, 3-day notice. You haven't paid your rent. And if you are going through an eviction, something you definitely want to keep in mind is that you need to do the correct notice. Like that's going to be super, super important. This is going to be the most common one. The most common cause of the eviction is the tenant not paying rent, but there are obviously other causes of eviction. So make sure you get the right notice. But if it's for non-payment, you want to give them a 3-day notice of non-payment of rent. So you need to give that to them in the proper channel. So there's a couple different ways to do it. The one that I find that most people do that I like to do is you send it via regular mail, certified mail, and you post it on the main entrance of the property. Um, and to do that virtually, I actually just used there's a service called Docupost. So I don't have to go to the post office because the post office is awful. But Docupost will send it regular mail, certified mail, and then I just called somebody local, gave them $20 to go tape a piece of paper to a door. So then that kind of checked all those boxes, right? So you have to send it regular, certified, and post it on the main entrance. And the key here is documentation. So when that notice is posted on the front door, make sure that person gets a picture, make sure they text it to you. Also, obviously, keep the receipts, the proof that you did send it via regular and certified mail as well as the dates as which you did that, because all these timelines and stuff are going to be extremely important. Uh, so the bad way, I guess, quote unquote bad way, about doing it this way is that you have to wait 4 days for it to be considered received by the tenant. So really, your 3-day notice is a 7-day notice, and you have to wait until the 8th day to take the next step. But basically, once the 4 days is up, then the 3 days starts, and then after the 3 days have been completed, and you still haven't got your rent, then you can move on to the next step. But really, the key here is serve them the 3-day notice of non-payment of rent if they haven't paid. Uh, Make sure to do it. Make sure to document it, regular mail, certified mail, and post it on the front door. Uh, and then we can move on here. So let's say we get to that 8th day, they still have not paid rent. So now we file an FED. Um, Iowa, you want to go to Iowacourts.gov. So they want you to e-file everything. So here is Iowacourts.gov, and you can come over to basically the e-file login. It'll bring you up to this page. You make an account. E-file. So you're gonna want to go to. Make sure I'm not getting ahead of myself. You're gonna want to go to new case, and then small claims, and then you come down to forcible entry, landlord tenant. Again, this is just what I did, not an attorney. But I basically just put a like non-payment, forcible entry detainer, the address for my title. I'm not sure if that matters. Again, I'm not an attorney. I have no idea what I'm doing, but that's what I did. Then you can come down here and you have to edit the plaintiff. So you click on yourself, make sure you include your date of birth, social security number, and then you add in other parties here. So you have to add in the defendant, aka the tenants on the lease. So you add them. And let's just skip that so I can show you the next step. Okay. No, very good. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. Okay. And then basically you go to, I believe it is small claims, common filings. And then you're going to want to go to original notice. Where are you at? Original notice right there. Perfect. So then you basically, that's the categories you select, and then you upload the original notice document, which they do give to you for free. So you just come up here and you go to for the public, court forms, and you come down here to small claims. And basically, there's original notices. There's a bunch of them in here depending on the court case, but they do give it to you for free. I can show you what the document looks like here. Yeah, there it is. It's a pretty simple document. Just make sure when you fill out this, it has to match exactly how you filled it out on the e-file. Upload that document. And that's essentially where you get the document. Upload that, and then you basically completed that portion. And then also, if you're going to do this remotely at the same time, you'd want to upload a motion to appear via Zoom or teleconference. So I did that because I knew I didn't want to fly back to Iowa for a 15-minute court hearing. So I filed a motion to appear via Zoom. That doesn't have to be anything fancy at all. I just wanted to have like your name, the defendant, the case number, the title of the document, and a brief explanation of what you're trying to accomplish. Like, hey, I'm filing a motion to appear via Zoom, blah, 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 I'm out of state, XYZ. And then also proposed exhibits too, so you can upload those or do more pieces of evidence, I guess you could say. So I uploaded the little current lease that I had pictures of the notice on the door, proof of mailing, timelines, emails, etc. Anything that might be relevant or proving your case, your side of the story, you want to upload that into proposed exhibits. And then once all of that has been uploaded, you will get some papers that most likely you are going to be responsible for serving the tenant with. So definitely the original notice, and then also like the exhibits, the motion to appear via Zoom, all this stuff you're going to have to serve the tenant with. So I just hired a professional legal service. They track them down, they serve them professionally, keep that invoice, keep their documents as well. So now they've been served all the papers, and then the next step is to basically just appear at the court date. The judge will give you a decision, and if it is in your favor, if you've done everything correctly, if you've hit the correct timelines, done everything how you're supposed to, followed the law, then they're going to basically rule in your favor, and they'll set an order for the sheriff to evict. So here's the next step of this process. So you think like, okay, the court case is done, it's over. No, it's like, okay, now they give you a document. It's basically like an order for the sheriff to evict this person. You have to take that to the sheriff and schedule it with them and work that out with them. And they do charge money for that. I believe it's $85 deposit. If it takes longer, it could be more money. And essentially, you need to bring at least 2 people per bedroom, and then an additional 2 people if there's a garage, and an additional 2 if there's a basement. So this example of this property was a 3-bedroom, no garage, no basement. So I need to bring 6 people to the scheduled eviction time, and the sheriff won't do the eviction. Like if you get there, it's time for the eviction, and only 5 of the 6 people show up. The sheriff has the right to be like, no, we're not doing this, and we're rescheduling later. So make sure you have the required number of people. Make sure they're able-bodied people too. Don't bring a 5-year-old child. Don't bring grandma. Just people to be able to remove the items from the unit in a timely fashion. But so you get there, you got all your 6 people, and the sheriff will then remove the tenant, and you will be able to remove their possessions. You take them out, you put them on the curb, and do that as quickly as possible, and then sheriff leaves, everything's good. Another disclaimer, not an attorney, I have no idea how long you're supposed to leave them on the curb before disposing of them. I think that's kind of like debated among legal professionals. I'm not sure if there's any like distinct timeline. I wish there was, so it was just clear, but I think it's just you have to put them out there for a reasonable amount of time, try to contact them, try to get them to take their stuff, and then eventually it's trash, right? But again, not an attorney, but that's basically the process, and those are the documents. Those are where you find the documents, right here. Uh, Everything else you can basically get free online, like the 3-day notice. That's nothing. You can just make that up, or have an attorney draft it up for you. It's probably smarter, but that's the whole process. And I really do hope this helps somebody, helps make it a little bit more clear, gives you a more in-depth walkthrough of somebody else who had just went through it, and yeah, hopefully this helps somebody.